it's Melissa. Happy Wednesday. Today I am going to show you my next trick, which is direct to garment. So those of you who have the burning question of, I have a silhouette machine, I am doing a lot of layering vinyl or layering heat transfer vinyl, or I am using a lot of printable vinyl. What should I do next? Where should I upgrade to next? A lot of people automatically assume sublimation is the next natural step, and you guys know I love my sublimation printer, but it's not always the next natural step depending on what you want to do. So you know, I have a whole room here full of printers. Today I'm going to show you how to use direct to garment and the benefits of direct to garment. So what direct to garment is exactly what it sounds. The design, in this case, this cute little house design here, that is an SVG. I just got it off FONTSY. You can use it as a cut file. In this case, we are going to use it with a direct to garment printer. So you take the design and literally it prints directly onto the garment. So what comes out is something like this. Now the benefit of this specifically over something like sublimation is this is a cotton towel, okay? It's also not white. So you cannot sublimate onto this directly. You could do some workarounds. You could use sublimation spray, which as we've shown is okay. It's not perfect on something like a towel that's going to need to be washed or handled a lot. I don't love it. You could do something like glitter HTV and sublimate onto that. Again, not perfect. It's going to end up being super stiff. So direct to garment is a really good option. It feels like sublimation. It is literally into the fabric. You cannot feel it at all. Okay, and the other thing is, why not use HTV? You certainly could use heat transfer vinyl for a design like this, but maybe you don't have HTV in this pattern, and this is really what you want, something unique, okay? So this is where direct to garment comes in. I'm gonna show you very, very quickly how easy this is, because this is honestly one of the easiest and fastest process in my whole craft room, okay? So pull the design over. This is just the SVG, okay? This Love Begins at Home. And I filled it with a pattern, okay? From my patterns folder. This isn't even a custom pattern. This is just one of the default patterns that Silhouette Studio has, okay? So I filled it with the pattern, which you can't see right now because of the size here, but I will see if I can enlarge for you a bit. This was the original, okay? And I don't know if you can see. I have my computer hooked up to the printer, so I don't want to take too long. Okay, so then all I did is export as a PNG with a transparent background. You just need business edition for that. Most people already have, who are going to be using something like this type of printer would already have business edition, because honestly, this printer, which I'm blocking, is a small business, home business level printer. It is not cheap. It is not going to be for everyone. So I just want you guys to know that. It comes in around, I think it's around $3,500, okay? But what it comes with is the printer and also its own like heat pressing system. So it's an all-in-one type system, desktop, and perfect size, small footprint for at home. Really doesn't take any more space up than my standard sublimation printer, which as we talked about, wouldn't be possible to do something like this given the color and this cotton fabric towel. Cotton fabric towel. Okay, so I've exported the design from Silhouette Studio. I almost always start in Silhouette Studio because it's my favorite design program. And then I just bring it into the Roland software, which I always laugh when I use the Roland software, because at the beginning it says you want to use basic or advanced, and then you click advanced and it literally is not advanced at all, but it does exactly what you need. It's just open it up, and I sized my design. So my design is now, everything was done in Silhouette Studio and it's now in Roland, okay? So right now I'm ready to print. I need to set up my towel, or you could do a shirt, a sweatshirt, a bib. I've done wine bags, I've done tote bags. You can do lots of different things, lots of different sizes. The max size is an A4, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, first thing that you need to do, you have this tray, all right? This is the tray, and it opens up, okay? And it has a bunch of markings on there. So you know, we don't need this part. Put that up there for right now. There's some, like a little marking here. That's where the top of my item needs to go. Okay, so I'm gonna unfold my towel here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Put this down a little bit, okay? And I'm going to place the top of my item, which in this case, I'm printing at the bottom, so I need the bottom to go in the opposite direction, all right, down here, okay? So you can see that my towel is bigger than my tray, but that's okay. We fold it all in, and again, you can do things like sweatshirts, because this, fold it all in here, okay? And then you fold the tray back over so that the fabric is taut. All right, so now everything is contained in there. Now, oops, got it sticking out a little bit. Let me just push that in. Now we're going to put it into the bottom part of the Roland, which this all comes together, okay? So this is the BT-12, and this is the HB-12. They come as a set together. The bottom part is sort of like the built-in heat press, and the top part is the printer. Okay, so all we're gonna do, let's see if I can get this cord to stay up here. Oh no, I got cords everywhere. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is put the tray in the bottom, and that is gonna get out the wrinkles, okay? So we're gonna put that in here, press it in. We have 30 seconds, and we're gonna tell it that we want it to press for 30 seconds, okay? Oops. It's got to get back up to, let's see. Okay. It's coming up to temperature. It's telling me it's not ready. It was ready before I got on here. It must have just been. Come on, preheat. Since I wasn't active on it for a few minutes, I probably... Okay, now it's coming up to temperature. So it takes just a second. It has to get up to about 140 degrees, and we're at 124. This is Celsius. So as soon as it hits that, it's going to beep and tell me it's ready, and then we will press it. So it needs to press in there for about 30 seconds. Typically, it would be ready for you, but because I've been sitting here chatting with you for a few minutes, it has... it must have an auto safety feature that it kind of cuts the temperature. Okay, so as soon as that gets to 145, which is going to be just a second, we will press it, and then we will go through the next part. So after it presses, then we're going to move that whole tray up to the top, and what you're going to see is that it's going to print out the design directly onto the fabric, okay? Direct to garment. That is what it's doing. It's printing directly to the garment. Okay, so here we go. It's about at 145. It'll beep. It's telling me it's ready. So now, I don't know if you can see. I'll see if I can pull you guys a little bit closer to this. This is kind of a tight spot in my office. Okay, so what you can see is it's counting down. Do a little gymnastics here. And we've got 10 seconds left. So once this is done, I'm gonna move that whole tray up to the top. And now it's like, now it's like cutting off my head. Okay, I'll squat. Okay, we're gonna put it back in here at the end, but now what we have to do is pull this out. So you can see it's kind of gotten all those little wrinkles out. And we'll close the heating area. And we will place this in here, setting the tray. And it's telling me on here on this little display that it's ready. So now I'm just gonna go back into the software and click print. Let's see if I can pull you over here. Click print. Okay, it's gonna say, are you sure you wanna print this design? Yes, I am sure. All right, and now I just need to hit the start button. It's taking the whole print, or the whole tray inside with my towel on there. Now it's gonna start printing. You'll see it just takes like a minute, and it's gonna print out my design directly onto my towel. Now, the questions that I always get about this, is this permanent? Yes, with the process that you're doing down here, it makes this permanent, and it's something just very similar to sublimation, okay? So there are other processes that you can take, you can put on, you can pre-treat your fabric if you want. Press down and start. What? so it's gonna print for us. So again, can you see in there how it's printing? You see how it's going across? That's putting down the ink. Okay, now what colors can you do? What you can do is the ink has to be darker than the surface. So I don't know where my example is, but I've done like printing black on a bright red towel. Okay, so as long as the ink is going to be darker than the garment itself, it'll work. Can you print white? You cannot print white. That means you can't print on black, okay? So if you have a black surface, it's not going to work because the ink is always going to be lighter than the black surface, okay? How large can you print? I'm kind of trying to go through some of the FAQs. The largest you can print is that A4 size, okay? So, question I get a lot is, what is the best printer? The best printer depends on your needs. So this might fill someone who does a lot of garments, who does a lot of bags, who does a lot of light colored cotton shirts, who does a lot of bibs or baby clothes or kids clothes, wine bags, that type of customization. This might be a really good option for you. If you do hard goods, this isn't going to be a good option, sublimation. If you want to print on darks, this again, not going to be a good option. You might instead want to look at the at options of sublimation where you can do darks. Not my favorite option, but you can do it if you have, you know, white glitter HTV or white flock HTV. They're easy subli, but really if you want to do darks or cotton, you would probably want to go to a white toner printer like the Uninet that you guys have seen me have. Okay, so this is done. Print, completely printed. Do you see that? So that just took a minute. Now I have to put it back in the bottom. Okay. And this time it's basically going to be fixing, what's called fixing. So it heat fixes it, basically cures that ink, okay? And when it comes out, it's gonna look exactly the same, but this process at the end here is really important, all right? Another question that I get a lot, can you speed this process up any? You can buy a second tray and have one in the fixer and one in the printer at the same time to kind of like, you know, have an assembly line going. You can do that. So this just takes a minute at the bottom. It can take up to 3. It really depends what you're doing. So if you have depending on the garment that you're using, whether that's a sweatshirt or a tote bag, it'll tell you, you know, if you need to do a short fix, a long fix, or a medium fix. It tells you the times and temperature. It's a very like simple type of printer to use, and I don't know where my cheat sheet is, but it tells you exactly, you know, if you're using a garment, what's depending on the type of garment, how long that you want to fix for. Okay. All right. Now I have my towel. Okay. So now I can just take this. Let me unplug this. Take this whole thing out of my tray. And ready for the big reveal. So a really, really nice way to customize garments, okay? Again, you can do this on all types of garments, and the item doesn't have to fit specifically on this tray. Like I said, I've done wine bags, and they've come out really nicely. Like I said, the colors, I pulled these in at 2 different sizes into, I adjusted the size. That's why they're not exactly the same. I always do my test and then I do the one that I'm going to do on here. But anyway, I wanted you guys to see that again, why I love it. It doesn't, obviously you don't need your Silhouette machine for this. I use the Silhouette software. And again, a really great thing with this is that you can use the same designs that you already have in a different way, okay? You can use those SVGs, PNGs, JPEG even, okay? And the software, I love as a Mac user, can be used on both Mac and PC. Okay? All right, you guys, if you are interested in this, I threw links up top. If you just love the design but you have no interest in this machine, no problem. This design itself is part of FONTSY's Build Your Own $5 bundle, which is going on today and tomorrow, so I threw the link up top for that too. You can build your own perfect design bundle. And if you want to learn more about direct to garment versus sublimation, or which printer you should get next, I have linked to all of that stuff as well, because again, I think a lot of people think, oh, sublimation is the next natural step. It is a great tool to have in your craft room, but once you get it, if you're not doing a lot of hard goods, you may find that, oh, the sublimation printer isn't the best if you are heavy on garments, okay? All right, you guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see ya.